Do you want to know the one thing that helps you raise more startup funding? We're going to talk about it today. Let's get into it. Hey there, this is Tiffany with Boss in a Budget. I help people start their nonprofits and raise money for their new nonprofits. And I am sharing one tip, the one thing that can really help accelerate any kind of fundraising campaign that you're trying to put out. And I'm especially talking to people who are startup founders. Those are the people who have very little money in the beginning, or they're trying to get a donor base built, right? They're trying to build a community of people who are actually giving to the organization. So even though you're not a startup, you may still be looking for individual donors and you're not sure like how to attract them, how to get them to actually give. I'm going to share one tip that can really help change and transform your fundraising campaigns. If you need help creating a fundraising campaign, I lay out a clear strategy using peer-to-peer fundraising methods. So I'm dropping that workbook below so it can help you chart out your own campaign. You want to know the one thing? It's creating a compelling story. So I'm gonna break this down a little bit, because I find that when people start their fundraising campaigns, they tend to just state the facts, right? Look, I'm trying to raise money. I need it for this. Or sometimes they don't even say what they need it for. They'll just be like, our organization needs to raise money and it can, help our cause or help make a difference in the world. And it's very generic, or it's not very inspiring. But this is the one thing I want you to take from this video. Giving for most people is an enjoyable experience. So when you are giving them the invitation to give to your organization to help someone else, that means that you need to inspire them. Like, you need to make them feel like it's going to be an enjoyable experience. It shouldn't feel like you're doing it begrudgingly, or it shouldn't feel matter of fact or just like some simple old transaction. It should inspire hope. It should get them excited. It should get them fired up. It should get them so excited that they want to tell somebody else what they did when they gave. Or even if they can't tell somebody else in that moment, when you report back to them what happened as a result of their gift, they should be so excited that they want other people to know about it and they want other people to give too. So I want you to remember that when people give, you are promoting a sense of hope. You are promoting a sense of a brighter future, right? And so you want to make people feel that. You actually want to make people feel. It's not about the matter of fact of, hey, donate to us. You need to make people feel you, to feel your issue. And the way to do that is storytelling. So I'm going to give you 3 tips on crafting your stories, because I don't want you to get caught up in like, it has to be this formula and it has to be like this. I do have a storytelling formula that I have taught before, but I just want to make it as simple as possible in this video so you don't get too caught up in your head. When I say storytelling, I just mean taking people through a journey where they feel like they're getting presented a problem. There's an issue that needs to be addressed, right? And then a solution is presented. And you should be the solution, or somehow you should tie in how your organization can be the solution. And then you want to talk about what it would mean if that solution were able to happen, or if it were able to happen at a bigger scale. So for example, maybe you're telling a story about somebody you helped with your organization. And so this person was struggling with something, they received a service from you, and as a result of receiving that service from you, their life changed in one very specific way, right? Their life was transformed. So the story is laying that out. And then the point of the story is for you to say, we can help 10 more people have the same result with your help. So that's how you want to use a story to help people to give. Or you can tell a story that really doesn't have anything to do with your particular services, but it makes people think, and at the end of the story makes them feel like they should help as a result. So one way people can do this is having like personal stories. So I did this for myself on a live I recently did. So I talked about my dad, and the point I was trying to make was that people love to give. The point I was trying to make is that you shouldn't feel like it's a burden to ask somebody, because actually people want to feel good. They want to feel like they're helping somebody. So I wasn't telling a story about an organization where they went through a transformation where they changed how they asked to giving, and then they were able to get more money. Whereas that's the point of me teaching about it. But the story I was telling had nothing to do with that. The story was a personal story that I related to that. So my personal story was, my dad was in a store and he saw a little boy, and he was in this Christmas spirit, and he really wanted to help him. And he told the little boy, hey, get any toy you want. And he bought the toy for the little boy. And the joy on his face when he was able to do that, and when he was describing it, made the point that people love to give. It was me using an example that can relate to the bigger point of what I'm trying to say. So for example, if somebody is raising money for your organization and they're saying, you know, in my life, I have been blessed, but I came across this person the other day and I saw how they were struggling, and it made me realize that I didn't get here by myself. So that means I need to help somebody else. That's why I'm supporting this organization, because I realize we need each other. So please give to this organization because it means a lot and it will help this person in this way. So I hope this makes sense. I hope it's not too jumbled up. The whole point of it is you can tell relatable stories. It doesn't just have to be an impact story. And this is important for people who are like, I haven't done any services yet. So how can I tell a story when I don't really have proof yet? So you can make a relatable story about why your service is needed, and that people still connect to those personal stories. And when people tell personal stories that mean something to them, the person that they care about who's telling them the story makes them want to learn more. It makes them want to move and do something about it. So that's why you want to use storytelling, because it creates an emotional response in people for them to give. Here are 3 tips you can use when you are telling a story. This is the first tip. Make it personal and make it about a person. So when you are trying to craft a story, think about one experience or one person. You saw how I talked about my dad, that was one person. Or how I talked about that one person who was a client that was helped by this organization's service. You want to make it about a person. Don't make it general, like we can help 10,000 people make their lives better. When you are telling a story, make it specific about someone's specific journey so people can see themselves in that journey. Number 2, make it relatable. So the giving experience is very emotional, it's very relational. People want to feel like they're helping, right? And they want to feel connected to what they're helping. It's rare that a person just wants to give and just not care about what happens as a result. Maybe there's some people out there, but the majority of people really want to see, did I make a difference? Did I change something for somebody? So people care about those kind of things. So you need to be relatable in your story. You need to be real. You need to be authentic, because that draws people to you. People are not necessarily looking for you to sound smart or to present yourselves in a smart way when you are asking for money from individuals. They're just looking for something they can relate to. They're looking for something they can connect to. The third tip is to make the story come alive. So you want to use adjectives, and you want to build, and you want to create some drama when you're telling a story so that people are excited about what happens at the end. So in the beginning of your stories, make it like a cliffhanger. Or a lot of times what people do in their campaigns is they'll start with a quote, a really powerful quote, or they'll start with something like, when we met Angela, she was ready to end it all. And that may be like a suicide awareness campaign or something like that. And people are going to want to know, well, what happened to Angela, right? Or use language that make people feel like they're in the moment with you, that they're reading a story, but they're actually in the story, okay? So I hope these pointers helped. I just wanted to give you a really quick, broad overview of how to make your fundraising campaigns better and more effective. If you need help, visit my website at bossonabudget.com. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.